My friend, please sit with me a while, let the outside world melt away. Just for a moment. There is something important we must speak about, something that touches the heart of your soul's journey. You have awakened, I can feel it in you, the way your eyes seek truth, the way your breath slows in the presence of silence. You are no longer asleep in this world of illusions, but now you wonder what happens next. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." You have looked inside. You've walked through the night of your soul. You've questioned reality, lost yourself, found yourself, and now you feel the weight shift. This is not the beginning, this is not the end. This is the turning point, the moment when awakening is no longer a process, but a state you embody, and with this knowing comes responsibility. Let me tell you a story. When I was a young novice in the monastery, I sat with an old monk. His face, wrinkled like ancient parchment, bore the softness of a man who had seen through the veil. He asked me, "Do you know when the seed becomes the tree?" I said, "When it sprouts, master." He shook his head. "No. The seed becomes the tree when it no longer asks if it is one. You, my dear one, you are no longer the seed. You are the tree." Let us walk through 7 sacred signs that your awakening is over and you are now being asked to use your powers. Sign 1. You no longer seek. You survey. At the beginning of your journey, you searched books, retreats, gurus, angels, symbols. You searched everywhere. But now, something has changed. You are no longer thirsty for answers because you realize the river runs through you. You listen to others not to be taught, but to guide them. You speak not to be heard, but to help others hear. This is the first sign when your seeking becomes serving. In my early days, I spent hours asking questions, but the day I sat silently beside a weeping child and said nothing, just held space for her pain, that was the day I realized my role had shifted. The monk becomes the mirror. Sign 2. You feel at home in solitude and in chaos. Many believe that awakening is found in peaceful temples and silent mountains. But true awakening is tested in traffic, in heartbreak, in deadlines, in betrayal. You can meditate in a storm. You can feel peace even as the world burns around you. If you notice that your heart doesn't shatter in chaos, but becomes even more still, this is your sign. There was a time when I needed candles, chants, and perfect silence to meditate. Now, I can find presence while washing rice or walking through a crowded street. Why? Because the stillness lives in me, not outside of me. Sign 3. You trust the unknown. When your awakening is complete, you do not fear the unknown, you trust it. You walk forward without needing to know what's around the corner. You no longer beg the universe for proof or plead with life to follow your script. Instead, you surrender. And yet, this surrender is not weak, it's powerful. Do you feel that? That quiet trust, that gentle certainty that whatever comes, you will rise to meet it. That, my dear one, is a sign that the storm is over. Now it is time to build. Sign 4. You see everyone as a reflection. Carl Jung also said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When your awakening is complete, you stop judging others as wrong or broken. You see the angry man as a reflection of your own repressed rage, the jealous woman as a mirror of your own fear of loss, the lost soul as a reminder of your own wandering. This compassion isn't pity, it is oneness. When I look into the eyes of a thief or a king, I see only one thing, myself. Wearing different clothes, you have arrived at this knowing, and with this knowing comes power. Sign 5. You have let go of the identity of awaken. This one is subtle, but profound. You no longer need to announce your spirituality. You do not need crystals, labels, or titles to feel worthy. You do not say, "I am awake," because it would be like a tree saying, "I am green." It is simply your nature. In fact, the more awakened you become, the less you speak of it. You live it, you breathe it, and those around you feel it without needing to be told. Sign 6. You move with purpose, not pressure. Awakening brings a profound sense of purpose. Not urgency, not hustle, but clarity. You no longer chase. You are moved by something greater. Life flows through you like a current, and your steps feel guided, not forced. The path may still be hard, but it is never confusing. When I rise in the morning, I no longer ask, "What should I do today?" I ask, "Where can I be used?" That is the essence of awaken action. Sign 7. You are at peace with the mystery. Finally, the most powerful sign. You no longer need to understand everything. You don't demand to know why things happen. You don't obsess over meaning. You are content to live the question. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You now live this privilege. You walk not with all the answers, but with a heart wide open to the wonder of not knowing. My friend, if these signs resonate with you, then I tell you with joy, your awakening is over now. Your journey as a guide, as a channel, as a creator of light begins, but this is just the beginning of a deeper truth. You have gifts waiting, power sleeping in your bones, wisdom in your breath. Now that you are awake, It's time to use it. In the next part of our journey, I will show you how to embody your new self. Not just spiritually, but in your thoughts, actions, and sacred service to the world. Come. The light is rising. Auth, you've returned. Good. That tells me something. It tells me you're not here just to listen, you're here to integrate. To make this wisdom part of your being, not just a passing thought, but a living truth. So now that you've recognized the signs that your awakening has matured, that your soul is no longer seeking but remembering, it is time to ask a deeper question. How do I use my powers with humility and purpose? Because yes, you have powers now, but not the kind you find in fantasy stories. Not fire from your fingertips or lightning in your eyes. No, your power is subtler, quieter, more dangerous, more divine. Let me show you what I mean. Power 1. The power of presence. So when a soul awakens, the first gift it receives is presence. Have you noticed how people calm down when they're near you? How your silence seems to carry more weight than someone else's words? That's not a coincidence. That's your energy field, charged with awareness. This is the power that monks cultivate over decades. It is not taught, it is not forced. It arises when you have faced yourself so deeply that nothing rattles you anymore. When I was younger, my master once sat with a grieving father. He said nothing for hours, no advice, no scriptures, no chanting, just his presence. And when the father left, he said, I did not find answers, but I found myself. That is the power you now hold. Power 2, the power of word. After awakening, your voice becomes a vessel not for opinions, but for truth. This is why you must be careful with your words now. Because every sentence you speak holds vibration, intention, consequence. Speak, and mountains may move. Speak, and hearts may heal. But speak without awareness, and you may cause harm without realizing it. Carl Jung warned of this when he said, words are animals, alive with a will of their own. So use your words as medicine when you speak from your true self, not ego, not fear. People feel it. They feel safe, they feel seen. Even one sentence spoken from the soul can change a life. I have seen it happen. Power 3, the power to transmute pain. Now this is sacred. Before awakening, pain breaks you. After awakening, pain builds you, not because the pain stops, no, but because you know how to sit with it, to feel it, honor it, and then alchemize it. You no longer run from discomfort. You sit with it like an old friend. This is what makes you dangerous, not to others, but to the illusions, to falsehood, to the stories that keep people asleep. You've become a flame that doesn't burn. You transform everything that touches you. A true awakened one does not escape suffering. They walk into it and emerge with gold. Power 4, the power of inner guidance. Know that you are no longer led by fear. Now that the voice in your head has softened into the whisper of your heart, you can finally hear the inner compass. Do you feel it? That subtle pull, that nudge towards something greater? You no longer need a teacher outside of you, because your soul has become your master. But this guidance is quiet, it doesn't shout. You must slow down to hear it. You must be willing to follow it even when it makes no logical sense. I remember the time I left the monastery for a year. Not because I was confused, but because I was called. Everyone thought I was abandoning the path, but in truth, I was embodying it more than ever. Sometimes your path will confuse others. That's okay. It's not theirs to walk. Power 5, the power to create from stillness. In the early days of awakening, we want to act, we want to build, teach, heal, but over time, you learn creation must come from stillness. True action does not arise from pressure, it blossoms from peace. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You are simply expressing your essence. This power is not visible to the eye, but it is felt in your art, your business, your parenting, your presence. Everything you touch begins to grow, not because you're forcing it, but because you're aligned. When you stop pushing, the universe starts moving through you. Power 6, the power to hold space for others. Awakening that you are awake. Others will come to you, not because you market yourself, but because light draws seekers in darkness. Your role is not to fix them. It is to hold space, to be a lighthouse. This is sacred work. It requires patience, humility, and most of all, non-attachment. You do not control the timing of someone else's awakening. You do not get to decide what they understand. You simply stay rooted, and when they are ready, they will remember the path simply by standing beside you. This is the work of a soul guide, and it is now your work. Power 7, the power to let go. Again and again, perhaps the most underrated power is the power of surrender. Even after awakening, the ego will try to return, the old fears will whisper, the doubt will visit, and when it does, your power lies in your ability to let go again. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of control. Let go, not once, but daily. This is your maintenance, your sacred discipline. Every sunrise is a chance to surrender again. You see, awakening is not the end of the story, it is the birth of your sacred responsibility. Now, the world needs your light, not as a torch of righteousness, but as a quiet flame of compassion, wisdom, and truth. You are the one who walks gently, who speaks few words but says much, who gives without being asked, who loves without seeking reward. You are no longer becoming, you are now embodying. So, where do we go from here? In our next conversation, we will go deeper into how to step fully into your role as a spiritual guide in the modern world, how to serve without losing yourself, how to balance the mystical with the mundane, how to walk in both the heavens and the streets with equal grace. There is still more to unfold. Come again soon, dear one. You've returned again, and that means something beautiful is happening within you. It means the seed of wisdom we planted before is beginning to take root. Now that you've discovered your powers, not fantasy powers, but sacred ones. Presence, stillness, word, intuition, creation. Now the question becomes this: how do you serve the world without losing yourself in it? Because, you see, awakening is not escape, it is engagement with clarity. It is walking into the world not to change it, but to illuminate it. Let us begin. The path of the spiritual guide begins not in teaching, but in listening to guide others. You must first master the silence between their words. Many people don't need more advice, they need to be seen, heard, felt, before you rush to teach. Learn to listen deeply, not just to what is said, but to what is not said. I once sat with a woman who claimed she was lost. She spoke endlessly about needing direction, purpose, validation. I said very little, but in her pauses, I could hear the real wound. It wasn't that she didn't know who she was. It was that no one had ever confirmed that her knowing was enough. And so, I simply said, "You've known all along, you were just waiting for permission." She cried, not because I gave her truth, but because I gave her back hers. This is the first role of the awakened one, to mirror the light in others, not to become their light. Balance service with solitude. Let me share a hard truth. If you are not careful, your gift will exhaust you. You may feel compelled to help everyone. You may think every cry is a call you must answer, but even the Buddha withdrew. Even Christ went into the desert. A spiritual guide must serve from overflow, not depletion. You must retreat, refill, reflect. Your silence is not selfish, it is sacred maintenance. When I lived among the villagers, they would come to me daily, asking for blessings, advice, healing words. At first, I gave and gave, until one morning, I collapsed. My master said, "You cannot light others while your own flame flickers. Go. Return when you are full again." It was the hardest lesson, but it made me wise. So remember, solitude is not abandonment of others, it is a return to yourself. Walk the middle path in a chaotic world. To be awakened is to walk into worlds, the inner and the outer, the visible and the invisible, the sacred and the ordinary. This is not easy. Your friends may not understand you. Your family may wonder why you've changed. The world may feel louder, faster, more disconnected than ever. And yet you must stay centered. Carl Jung once said, "Modern man does not see God because he does not look low enough." He was right. Spiritual power is not just for meditation cushions and mountaintops. It must walk the streets. It must show up in parenting, business, creativity, and conversation. If you can speak truth during a boardroom meeting, if you can offer stillness in the middle of chaos, if you can hold presence while others panic, then you are living the awakened life. That is the monk's secret. We don't withdraw to escape the world, we withdraw to train for it. Let your life be the teaching. The world is filled with words, with teachings, with courses, with coaches, with philosophies. But people remember presence more than instruction. They remember how you made them feel. So if you truly want to serve now that your awakening has settled, live your truth. Let your joy be visible. Let your integrity be fierce. Let your compassion be boundless. A single moment of sincere kindness, a single act of integrity when no one is watching, is worth more than 100 spiritual posts on social media. You don't need a stage, you don't need a title, you don't need a robe, you need only this, to live aligned. And people will feel it. They'll say, "I don't know what it is about them, but I feel safe around them, inspired, calm." That is your real teaching. Becoming a bridge between worlds. You now carry the responsibility of being a bridge. Between the old and the new, between suffering and peace, between illusion and clarity. Do not be surprised when others begin asking you strange questions. Do not be alarmed when you feel more at home with nature than in crowds. You are simply adjusting to your role. As a soul stabilizer in an unstable world, people will feel drawn to you, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. This is the time to remember the most powerful guides are not those who shout the loudest, but those who walk beside others quietly until they remember their own path. So what now? Now, we prepare to take the next step together. In our next conversation, we will dive into the inner shadow work that continues even after awakening. Yes, The light grows stronger, but so does your capacity to meet your hidden darkness with compassion. We'll explore how Carl Jung's wisdom can help you integrate your shadow, not avoid it. Because to truly live awakened, you must love all parts of yourself, even the ones you once tried to silence, and in doing so, you become whole. Welcome again, my dear companion. By now, your journey has shifted. What once felt like a personal awakening is revealing itself as something far greater. A quiet revolution within you, echoing outward into the world. You're beginning to remember who you are, but to live fully in your truth, you must make peace with the parts of yourself that you once pushed away. And that is what we explore now, the shadow. What is the shadow? Carl Jung wrote, everyone carries a shadow. And the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. In simple words, the shadow is everything you hide, deny, or suppress: your fears, your shame, your jealousy, your anger, and even, strangely, your greatness. You see, the shadow is not just dark. It also holds your unclaimed power, your rejected voice, your forgotten gifts. When you deny the shadow, you live half a life. When you embrace it, you become whole. Awakening doesn't erase the shadow, it illuminates it. So many people believe that awakening will remove all their pain. They think enlightenment means floating above all emotions. Always calm, always loving, always light. But that is a fantasy. The deeper your light grows, the more clearly you see the unhealed places within you, and that is no accident. The universe doesn't want perfect beings, it wants authentic ones. The shadow appears not to shame you, but to invite you to finally meet yourself in full. Facing the shadow, a story from my cave. There was a time in my journey when I believed I had transcended all darkness. I meditated for hours, ate only what was pure, spoke only words of kindness. I felt light. I felt holy. But then one cold evening, a traveler came to my cave, seeking shelter. He spoke arrogantly, he insulted the silence, he ridiculed the path. And within me the storm erupted. Anger, pride, contempt, it rose like fire in my chest. I wanted to shout, to chase him out, to return to my peace. But instead, I breathed, and I realized this man did not disturb my peace. He revealed the war still raging inside me. After he left, I wept. Not from shame, but from awakening. I had finally met a part of myself I had exiled, the part that wanted to be right, to be respected, to be above. And in meeting it, I embraced it. Since that day, I have not feared my shadow, I have befriended it. The practice, mirror work for the soul. If you want to integrate your shadow, you must begin by seeing it clearly. Here is a practice for you. Each evening, sit before a mirror. Not to judge, not to analyze, but to witness. Look into your own eyes and ask, what did I avoid today? When did I feel shame, and why? Who triggered me, and what did they reveal about me? What am I hiding from even now? And then just listen. Do not rush to fix. Do not run to justify. Simply be with the answer. In this space, healing begins. The shadow is not your enemy, it is your ally. Understand this deeply. Your anger? It points to your boundaries. Your jealousy? It reveals your unlived desires. Your fear? It shows you where love is needed most. These parts are not enemies, they are messengers. When you stop fighting your shadow and instead sit with it, you transmute it into wisdom. And slowly, you stop reacting and start responding. This is how true spiritual maturity is born, not from rejecting your darkness, but from walking through it with light in your hand. Peace comes from wholeness, not perfection. People often chase perfection. They want to be purely good, purely loving, purely wise, but perfection is a prison. It demands you hide the messiness of being human. Wholeness, on the other hand, is freedom. Wholeness says, I am both shadow and light. I am both student and teacher. I am both wounded and healing, and in that acceptance peace blossoms. You do not need to erase parts of yourself. You need only to sit with them, and in that sacred embrace, they lose their power to harm. They become part of your truth. In this very moment, you are not broken. You are becoming. Do not be afraid of your shadow. It is the soil from which your strongest self will rise. In our next conversation, we will explore what happens after shadow integration. We will talk about how to use your spiritual gifts to build sacred relationships, to navigate the world with heart, and to walk as a quiet warrior of peace. You have walked far already, and yet the journey is just beginning. Welcome back, dear soul. If you've arrived here, then you have walked through the forest of your inner shadow, and you have emerged not unscarred, but unafraid. And that, my friend, is the sign of a truly awakened being. Because true power doesn't come from eliminating struggle, it comes from transcending it. From standing in the fire and remembering that you are not the flame. You are the witness. Now that you've met your whole self, light and shadow alike, the time has come to step into your purpose. Let us speak now of sacred relationships and how the awakened soul walks through this world with quiet strength. Awakening is not the end, it is the beginning of service. Carl Jung once said, you are what you do. not what you say you'll do. And this is one of the most profound truths of all. Spiritual awakening is not just an internal experience, it is a call to embody your truth. To live the wisdom you've found. You see, when your soul awakens, you are no longer just responsible for yourself, you become a beacon for others still lost in the fog. You don't have to preach. You don't have to wear robes or speak in riddles. You only need to live authentically. In your stillness, others will find clarity in your presence. Others will feel safe in your kindness. Others will remember their own worth. Sacred relationships, mirrors of the soul. Let me tell you something that may surprise you. The most sacred teachers in your life won't always come in holy clothing. Sometimes, your greatest teacher is the one who breaks your heart. Why? Because relationships are the mirrors we cannot escape. They reflect everything still unhealed, everything still unloved within us. And if you have truly awakened, you will no longer fear these mirrors, you will thank them. Even the difficult ones, especially the difficult ones. A story from the road, the master who spoke with silence. Years ago, I traveled to a distant monastery in the Himalayan valley. There lived a master who had not spoken for 30 years. I was young, then hungry for words, for philosophy, for deep dialogue. But when I met him, he only bowed. I sat beside him for days. No words, just silence. At first, I was restless, then frustrated, but slowly, I noticed something in his silence. I could hear myself. I heard my worries, my pride, my fear of being unseen, and I realized he was teaching me the most profound lesson of all. Be fully present and you will hear everything. When we stop needing to be understood, we begin to truly understand others. This is the heart of sacred relationship, to listen without needing to fix, to hold space without controlling, to love without needing to be loved back. Using your powers with gracia. So now you ask, how do I use what I've gained? How do I move through the world as an awakened soul? Start simply. Your spiritual powers are not fireworks. They are soft hands, gentle eyes, and a compassionate heart. They appear when you choose patience over reaction. You forgive when it's hard. You speak truth even when your voice shakes. You remain grounded in chaos. You make peace your default. You don't need to do anything spectacular. Just be who you truly are, without masks, without performance. That authenticity will ripple through every space you enter. It will heal others without a word. The power of a quiet warrior. Let me share one more story. There was once a monk who lived at the edge of a war-torn village. Every day, chaos echoed in the valley below. Yet he planted flowers. When asked why, he said, because the world needs beauty, even when it burns. And when the fire ends, there must be something left worth living for. You, dear one, are that monk now. You are not here to argue with the chaos. You are here to plant seeds of presence, peace, and truth. This world does not need more noise. It needs more stillness that speaks. You are the calm in the storm now, not because life is easy, but because you know who you are even when it isn't. Your next step, begin to serve it and wait until you feel ready. You're ready now. Speak gently to someone who's hurting. Offer your time to someone who feels unseen. Share your journey without needing applause. Forgive someone even silently. Return to the places you once fled from and walk through them with light. Your awakening was not an escape, it was an invitation to return to the world with new eyes. So here you are. No longer just a seeker, but a guide, a healer, a bridge. Walk gently, love deeply. Speak truth quietly. And let your presence be your greatest power. In our next gathering, we will explore the sixth sign that your spiritual awakening is complete. The sudden desire to create, not just consume. This is the call of the awakened soul. To build something that lasts, to leave beauty behind, to channel divine energy into form. Are you ready to create from the deepest part of your being? Let us walk into that together. Welcome once again, dear soul. You have come far from the moment your spirit cracked open and let the light pour in. To this sacred moment now, when you are no longer asking, who am I, but instead, what shall I give? This is the sixth sign that your spiritual awakening has fulfilled its purpose. You begin to create. Not just as a pastime, not just as therapy, but as a divine compulsion, a whisper from the universe itself that says, let your soul speak into form. The birth of creation after awakening. Carl Jung believed that creativity was the expression of the unconscious made conscious. In his words, the creative mind plays with the objects it loves. And what is more lovable than truth, than beauty, than the mystery of being alive? After the long journey through suffering, silence, and surrender, the awakened one becomes not only a student of life, but a channel for it. You begin to create not for recognition, but for remembrance. To remind the world of what it has forgotten. Art becomes prayer, words become medicine, music becomes healing. You may not call yourself an artist, but your hands will ache to shape the invisible into into the visible. That, my friend, is divine creativity. A story of creation from stillness. Let me share a story, one I hold close to my heart. Years ago, I met a young man at the monastery. He had been through great trauma. He had lost everything: his family, his homeland, even his own voice. For months he did not speak, but every morning, without fail, he would sit in the garden and rearrange pebbles into beautiful patterns, intricate mandalas formed from the simplest stones. When asked why he did it, he finally whispered, "Because when I arranged the chaos outside me, I began to remember the order within me." He had become an artist, not of fame, not of galleries, but of the soul. You see, creation is not about performance. It's about connection to your truth, to the present moment, to the divine source within you. The alchemy of creative energy. There comes a time when the awakened soul can no longer simply absorb wisdom, it must express it. Energy that is not expressed becomes stagnant. Like a river blocked by a dam, it begins to turn inward, breeding frustration and restlessness. But when you open the gates, when you write that poem, paint that vision, speak that truth, plant that garden, build that dream, you become a vessel for transformation. You turn invisible pain into visible light. You give your inner journey a voice, a shape, a legacy. You were born to build something sacred. Many who walk the path of awakening are surprised by this. They thought their work was to meditate in silence, to escape the world's noise. But the real work is to return to the world and speak its forgotten language of love through creation. So I ask you gently, what have you been delaying? What inner vision have you placed on the shelf, waiting for the right time? The right time is not a date on a calendar. It is now. It is this breath. It is this awakening. Creation as karma yoga, selfless sacred action. In the old teachings of karma yoga, we are told, do your work, but do not cling to the fruits of your labor. This is the path of the awakened creator. Write the book even if no one reads it. Plant the seed even if you may not see the tree bloom. Speak your truth even if it trembles in the wind. You create not for reward, but because it is your nature to do so. Just as the sun rises without asking for praise, and the rain falls without asking for applause, you must offer your gifts freely. This is how a soul becomes timeless. Your creativity is your dharma, the silence of your awakening. You have heard the quiet instructions. Now it is time to act. Not from ego, not from ambition, but from devotion. Let your work be your altar. Let your life be your offering. Create with care, create with love, create with reverence. And remember, you are not the creator, you are the channel. Let the divine speak through your hands. Even a single breath of music, when played with intention, can echo across lifetimes. Even your smallest act of creation can shift someone's entire path. Do not underestimate the power of your presence, made visible. So now, we walk onward to the seventh and final sign that your spiritual awakening is no longer just an experience, but a way of life. In our next gathering, we will explore this final truth. You begin to walk alone, but you are never lonely. For now, rest in this knowing, you are no longer just awake, you are alive. Welcome back, gentle soul. We've journeyed far already through surrender, remembrance, embodiment, and sacred creation. Now we arrive at the seventh sign, and perhaps the most misunderstood of all. You begin to walk alone, but you are never lonely. Let us pause here and allow this truth to settle into your bones, because solitude is not isolation. And walking alone does not mean you are abandoned. No, it means that your soul has become strong enough to carry the flame even in the darkness, to stand in your truth even when the world walks the other way. The forest of solitude. There is an old teaching in the monastery that says, when the disciple becomes the flame, the teacher disappears. Not because the teacher has abandoned you, but because the teacher now lives within you. This is what Carl Jung referred to as individuation, the full integration of your shadow, your light, your longing, and your wisdom into one whole being. You no longer seek approval because your actions are rooted in truth. You no longer beg for belonging because you have come home to yourself. You no longer fear silence because in the silence, you are held. A story of solitude and grace. There was once a monk named Ravinath who lived in a distant mountain cave. He had not spoken to another soul in over 12 years. When asked why he chose such solitude, he replied, "I no longer needed to be understood by the world. I only needed to understand myself." And yet, he was not bitter, he was not cold. He welcomed each morning sun with a bow and every night sky with a blessing. His solitude was not an escape, it was a sanctuary. You see, when your spiritual awakening completes its cycle, you are not pushed into loneliness. You are pulled into communion with the all, with presence, with the divine itself, alone, yet connected to all. In this stage, your path narrows not because you are going backwards, but because you are ascending. You will find fewer voices to walk with, fewer distractions, fewer outer attachments, but in that reduction, you gain clarity. It's like walking through a foggy forest and suddenly stepping into a clearing. You realize you are not lost, you are being guided by a deeper compass. And that compass lives within your heart. Your vibration no longer matches the crowd. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from being alone, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. But now, you can, not always in words, but in energy, in presence, in silent knowing. When your spiritual awakening is complete, you may find that old relationships fall away, that crowds feel louder, that noise feels heavier. This is not punishment. It is purification. It is the universe making room for the connections that match your frequency. You begin to attract those who speak the silent language you now know, not in words, but in essence. They may not be many, but they will be real. You become the guide you were looking for. Remember when you longed for someone to show you the way, to save you, to understand you? That person has now become you. You are the guide now. You are the quiet flame others will find in the dark. You do not shout your wisdom, you radiate it. You do not force your presence, you become unmistakably felt. Solitude trains the soul to stand tall in storms, to be unshaken by noise, to remain loving even when no one is watching. That is real power. This is the true beginning. You may think your awakening is the end, but in truth, it is the beginning of sacred service, the beginning of fearless love, the beginning of quiet leadership. You no longer walk to impress others. You walk to bless them silently, unseen. The final fruit of awakening is a heart that is content to walk alone because it walks in the presence of all things. And in that sacred solitude, you discover your greatest gift. You are never truly alone. Not even for a moment. Even when no one understands you, the stars do, the trees do, the silence does, and your soul, it never needed permission to shine. So walk forward now, beloved, not as a seeker, but as a soul who knows. And this is the seventh sign. Your spiritual awakening is complete. Now you are called to live it. But this is not the end of our journey together. There is more to explore, more to reflect upon, more to embody, because when the awakening is over, you enter the sacred path of spiritual mastery. And in our next gathering, we begin the next phase, how to use the powers you've unlocked with humility, intention, and love. Because your awakening is not just for you, it is for the world. Welcome back, wise soul. Now that you've crossed the final threshold of awakening, you are no longer searching. You are remembering, you are not running, you are rooted. This is the moment when you stop waiting for signs, because now you are the sign. And so, we begin the sacred next chapter, not of seeking, but of serving, not of waking up, but of using your awakened self to bring light to others. Let us speak now of the powers that begin to bloom within you once your spiritual awakening is complete. And most importantly, how to use them with humility, intention, and love. The power of presence. The first power is not flashy. It doesn't light up the sky or shake the ground. It is presence. When you walk into a room now, people feel something. Even if you say nothing, your energy speaks. You may not have noticed yet, but animals pause around you, children gaze at you with curiosity, strangers open their hearts to you for no reason. This is not a coincidence. This is the vibration of awakening, a quiet radiance that softens the world around you. But remember, presence is not about attention. It is about attention without needing attention. Your power lies in your ability to hold space, to listen without judgment, to be a calm mountain in the middle of someone else's storm. The power of compassionate truth. Second power is your voice, but not the voice of the ego that once tried to convince or control. No, this is the voice of compassionate truth. Your words now carry weight, because they are no longer hollow. They come from lived wisdom, not memorized knowledge. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And when you speak from that place, from your deepest, most authentic core, you offer others permission to do the same, but use this power gently. Truth without love becomes a weapon. Truth with love becomes a liberation. The power of boundaries without bitterness. An author gift that now lives in you is the ability to draw sacred boundaries, not out of anger, not out of fear, but out of clarity. You no longer say yes just to be liked. You no longer dim your light to fit in. You understand now that every no you speak in truth is a yes to your peace, your purpose, your path, but you do it with grace, no bitterness, no revenge, just the quiet knowing that you are no longer available for anything that costs you your soul. The power to heal without trying. There is something mystical that begins to unfold. After spiritual awakening completes, you begin to heal others simply by being. You don't need elaborate rituals or long speeches. Sometimes just your presence, your grounded energy, your calm silence creates a field where others feel safe enough to unravel and remember who they are. People will begin to say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel so much better around you," or "You didn't say much, but I felt understood." This is not arrogance, this is resonance. You've become a mirror of stillness, And in that stillness, others meet their own soul again. The power to forgive beyond the mind, a truly awakened being no longer carries the burden of unforgiveness. You begin to see those who hurt you not as evil, but as unconscious. You realize people act from their level of awareness, and most are asleep, haunted by their wounds. So you release the need to punish or prove. You let go, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Your forgiveness becomes a river that washes away what no longer serves. It doesn't mean you forget, it means you are no longer poisoned by holding on. This is divine maturity, and it's a superpower the world desperately needs. The power of being an invisible guide. After your awakening, you are no longer the one standing on the stage. You become the quiet hand in the shadows, guiding those who are ready gently, silently. You don't push, you don't preach, you simply live your truth so fully, so openly, that your life becomes a map. You understand that not everyone is ready, and so you bless them from a distance. You plant seeds and walk away. You share wisdom when asked, and keep quiet when not. This is divine patience, and it is a hallmark of the soul who is no longer trapped by time or ego. The power to teach through embodiment. Final power we'll speak of today is the rarest of all. The power to teach by being. No lectures, no theories, just you, alive, awake, aligned. This is what the great sages embodied. Not more words, but more presence. You don't need to tell people what to believe. They will simply observe you and say, there's something about you. That something is alignment. And it is the most powerful teacher in the world. Now that you understand these powers, do not rush to wield them like weapons. Use them like a gardener, tenderly, wisely, with reverence, because they are not tools of control. They are instruments of service. You did not awaken just to escape suffering. You awaken to help heal it gently, lovingly. The world needs your stillness, your grounded heart, your quiet power. So walk carefully now, not to be afraid, but to be present, aware, intentional. And now, beloved, we prepare to step into the next page of our journey. Page 9, the 3 tests after awakening. How the universe confirms you're ready to lead. Because yes, once you awaken, the universe doesn't just hand you a crown. It hands you a mirror, a challenge, a test. Not to break you, but to polish you. Are you ready? Let us walk together. Welcome again, soul of the eternal path. You have awakened. You've walked through the storm. You've endured the crumbling of the false self, and emerged not as someone new, but as who you have always truly been. But I must tell you this, awakening is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your service. And before the universe allows you to step fully into your purpose, it will test you, not to punish you, but to refine you. To confirm, are you truly ready to walk in your power with compassion? Or will the ego sneak back in wearing spiritual clothing? Let us now walk through the 3 sacred tests that come after awakening, the cosmic rites of passage. Test 1, the echo of the old self after awakening. The first test comes quietly. It often appears as a whisper from your past. You may suddenly find yourself revisited by old relationships, familiar temptations, past habits you thought you buried. You may hear the voice of your old identity say, maybe I was happier before. Or, what if I just go back to how things were? This test is not failure, it is reflection. The universe is showing you a mirror, asking, do you truly want to move forward? Or do you still need to learn something back there? Carl Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is the moment to pause, to look into that mirror and say, I honor who I was, but I no longer live there. You are not rejecting your past, you are releasing it, and in doing so, you show the universe that the new path is not a phase. It is your foundation. Test 2, the fire of isolation. This second test is perhaps the hardest for many. Once you awaken, you may feel suddenly alone. Friends drift away, family doesn't understand, your conversations begin to feel empty, shallow, disconnected. You may look around and ask, where did everyone go? Or worse, is something wrong with me? No, beloved, nothing is wrong with you. What's happening is that your frequency has shifted. You're no longer vibrating with fear, gossip, judgment, or ego games. And because of that, the universe clears the room. It creates space so that your soul family can find you, the ones who will not drain your light, but reflect it. This test teaches you the strength of solitude, the sacred silence where the divine speaks the loudest. Remember, the caterpillar dies in darkness before it becomes the butterfly. So must the old you dissolve in solitude before you can emerge in purpose. Do not run from this fire. Sit in it, breathe in it, and watch what's forged. Test 3, the call to surrender. Again, just when you think you've figured it all out, just when the light is returning to your life, comes the final test, surrender. But this time, it's not the surrender of pain, it's the surrender of control over your purpose. You might feel ready to run toward your destiny, to teach, to heal, to guide others, but the universe whispers, not yet. Walk slower, trust deeper. You will be asked to lay down your plans, to walk without a map, to trust even when nothing makes sense. You will be stripped once more. Not of illusions this time, but of your need to control how your path unfolds. This is the highest surrender, to live in divine timing, to serve even if no one is watching, to speak truth even if no one claps. You are not here to perform. You are here to embody. Let the river carry you. Let the moment guide you. Let life show you that it knows where you're meant to go. These 3 tests, they are not obstacles. They are sacred initiations, and if you are walking through them now, I want you to know, you are not being punished. You are being prepared for something greater than your mind can yet imagine. But trust this, the more you surrender, the clearer the path becomes. And when you pass these tests, not by perfection, but by presence, the universe begins to open. Doors you didn't know existed. The path of service becomes effortless. Synchronicities arrive like magic, and you no longer chase purpose, you simply become it. So, dear soul, breathe gently now. You are not lost. You are an initiation. Let the fire refine you. Let the silence teach you. Let the unknown carry you home. And when you're ready, walk with me again, because in the next page, we'll dive into the 7 roles of a spiritually awakened being and how to know which one is yours. Each awakened soul carries a divine blueprint. You didn't awaken by accident. You awakened for a mission. Let us uncover yours together. Welcome back, traveler of the inner world. In our last moment together, we spoke of the tests the awakened soul faces, the echo of the old self, the fire of isolation, and the call to surrender. These initiations shape you like a sculptor shaping clay with patience and precision. Now, let us step forward into the heart of your journey, the 7 roles of a spiritually awakened being. You see, awakening is not a one-size-fits-all experience. Each soul has a unique blueprint, a divine calling that shapes how they serve the world. Understanding your role is key to using your powers wisely and living with purpose. 1. The healer. This role is ancient and sacred. You feel others' pain deeply, sometimes too deeply. Your gifts lie in restoring balance, in soothing wounds that are both visible and invisible. You are a conduit for compassion and transformation. Yet beware, healing begins with healing yourself. Remember the monk's ancient wisdom, you cannot pour from an empty cup. To truly serve as a healer, cultivate your own inner peace daily, for your light is the medicine. 2. The teacher. If you are drawn to share wisdom, to illuminate the path for others, then you may be a teacher, but beware the trap of ego. True teaching is not about being seen as wise, but about being a mirror that reflects the truth already within others. As the Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Your role is to inspire self-discovery, not dependency. 3. The seer. Perceive beyond the veil. Symbols, dreams, and synchronicities speak to you like a second language. This gift can be a compass for yourself and others, but it also demands humility. For visions without grounded action can lead to illusion. Remember Jung's insight, your vision will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Balance your sight with compassion and groundedness. 4. The warrior. This might surprise you, but spiritual warriors exist. You are not here to fight others, but to battle ignorance, injustice, and fear. Your courage inspires change and breaks chains, sometimes within yourself, sometimes in the world. Yet, the warrior's greatest strength is patience. As the ancient monk often reminded me, the greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Harness your power with wisdom and love. These are only 4 of the 7 roles. Each one carries its own challenges and blessings, its own way of expressing your awakened power. It is not uncommon for you to embody several roles at once, or to shift between them as your journey unfolds. But no matter your role, the foundation remains the same: mindfulness, compassion, and service. Because awakening without action is like a seed in dry soil, potential unrealized. Ask yourself now, which role calls to your soul? Where do you feel the fire ignite inside? Take time in silence to listen. The answer will come not as a thunderclap, but as a whisper. When you find it, honor it. This is your mission. In the next page, we will explore the remaining 3 roles and how to recognize the signs that you have stepped fully into your divine purpose. Together, we will deepen your understanding and prepare you to walk your path with clarity and courage. Welcome once more, seeker of truth. Last time we uncovered the first 4 sacred roles of a spiritually awakened being: the healer, the teacher, the seer, and the warrior. Now, we step deeper into this sacred map with the final 3 roles, each carrying unique gifts and respo. NSIBILI ties. 5. The guardian. You are the protector not of possessions or status, but of sacred spaces and energies. You sense disturbances where others do not. You are drawn to boundaries, knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Your role is crucial, for in a world full of distractions and illusions, clear energetic boundaries are the armor of the awakened. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Part of this truth is protecting yourself so you can serve from a place of wholeness. Guard your energy fiercely. Remember, saying no is not rejection, it is respect for your path. Point 6. The creator. You are the artist of the soul. Through your hands, voice, or vision, you manifest beauty and meaning into the world. Creation is sacred work, a dance between inspiration and discipline. The monk taught me that creativity is a form of prayer, a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. You remind others of the divine in the everyday through your gifts. But beware the shadow of perfectionism and comparison. Your creation is enough, simply because it is yours. 7. The servant. Often unseen but deeply felt. The servant moves through life with humility and grace. Your power lies in selfless love and quiet action. You understand that every small act, when done with presence, is a ripple in the ocean of change. In Jung's words, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your service often involves embracing the shadows to heal, support, and lift those who cannot yet see the light. You teach us that true power is found in giving without expectation. Beloved, your role may be obvious or hidden. You may recognize yourself in one role or find you are called to weave several together. The key is this: embrace your divine design fully. The universe does not ask you to be anyone else. It asks only that you be true. Your spiritual awakening is not just about inner peace. It is a call to action, a call to use your powers wisely and with love. So, now I ask, how will you step forward today? What small step can you take to align with your sacred role? Begin with mindfulness. Begin with kindness toward yourself. Begin with intention, because the world awaits your light. In the next page, we will journey into the 7 signs that prove your spiritual awakening is complete. Signs that will confirm you are ready to wield your powers with confidence and compassion. Let us prepare your heart and mind to recognize these signs as they emerge. Welcome back, dear traveler of the soul. We have just walked through the sacred roles your awakened spirit may embody. Now, it is time to listen deeply. For within you there are signs, subtle yet profound, that reveal your spiritual awakening has reached its completion. These are not mere ideas, but living realities that awaken clarity, power, and purpose. Sign 1. Inner peace. In the midst of chaos, when the storms of life rage around you, yet your heart remains calm like a still lake, this is no accident. It means your soul has anchored itself beyond the surface turmoil. This peace is not numbness, but profound presence. As the monk often said, peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of understanding. This calm is your foundation and your power. Sign 2. The disappearance of fear. For no longer controls you, not because it has vanished, but because you have learned to walk with it. You recognize fear as a messenger, not a master. Carl Jung reminded us, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You have faced your shadows, and in doing so, fear's grip loosens. Sign 3. Intuitive knowing replaces need for proof. You trust your inner guidance, even when the world doubts or challenges you. This intuitive knowing is like a compass, leading you through uncertainty with quiet certainty. You no longer seek constant validation outside yourself. The monk said, the soul's wisdom whispers softly. Listen with your whole being. Sign 4. Compassion extends even to those who hurt. Your heart expands beyond limits. You forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. This compassion is strength cloaked in gentleness. It heals old wounds and breaks chains of resentment. These are the first 4 signs, but there are 3 more to come. Each sign is a beacon lighting your way forward. Recognize them as milestones, not destinations. Dear one, I invite you now to reflect. Which of these signs do you see blossoming within you? Allow yourself to feel gratitude for this growth. It is proof that you are ready. In our next gathering, we will uncover the final 3 signs, each one a key to unlocking your fullest potential. Together, we will prepare you to step fully into the power and purpose of your awakening. Welcome back, friend of the spirit. We have seen the first 4 signs that your spiritual awakening is complete. Inner peace amidst chaos, the fading of fear, the rise of intuition, and a heart wide with compassion. Now, let us turn our attention to the final 3 signs, each a profound key, unlocking the fullest expression of your awakened self. Sign 5. A deep sense of purpose. Awakening brings clarity not only of self, but of your place in the world. You no longer wander aimlessly, but feel a powerful pull toward a meaningful mission. This purpose may be grand or quiet, yet it ignites your soul with unwavering fire. As Jung said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. When purpose aligns with passion, your powers become a living force. Sign 6. Harmonious relationships. As you awaken, the quality of your connection shifts. You attract those who resonate with your true self, and release relationships that drain or distract. Harmony does not mean perfection, but a deep respect and authenticity that nurtures growth for you and others. This sign reflects the awakening of your social soul, recognizing that we are all threads woven into the vast tapestry of life. Sign 7, courage to live authentic. Ally. Final sign is the courage to stand in your truth. No longer hiding behind masks or pleasing others, you walk boldly in your unique light. This authenticity may challenge old patterns and provoke resistance, but it is the essence of your power. The monk reminded me, authenticity is the highest form of spiritual expression. Your awakening is complete when you live unapologetically as yourself. Together, these 7 signs are more than milestones, they are your guideposts. They confirm that your journey has blossomed beyond awakening into purposeful being. Remember, dear one, spiritual awakening is not the end, but a new beginning. A call to action to wield your powers for the good of all. May you walk this path with courage, love, and mindfulness. In the next page, we will explore practical ways to embrace and express your powers, transforming your awakening into meaningful action. Together, we will awaken the leader within you. Welcome back, beloved seeker. We have just uncovered the 7 signs that show your spiritual awakening has reached its profound completion. Now, the question naturally arises, what next? How do you take these signs, these precious gifts, and bring them into the world as real, living power? The path from awakening to action. Awakening is not merely a state of being, it is a call to use your powers consciously and wisely. The monk has often taught, spiritual power without purpose is like a river without a direction, beautiful but ultimately lost. So, we must learn to channel this power with clarity, humility, and intent. Practical steps to embrace and express your powers. Daily mindfulness practice. Begin with presence. Even 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing or silent observation roots you in the here and now. This daily ritual strengthens your connection to your inner guidance. Set clear intentions. Intentions act as your spiritual compass. What do you want to create? Who do you want to serve? Write down your intentions clearly and revisit them often. Serve others with compassion. Use your awakening to uplift those around you. Whether through teaching, healing, creating, or simply listening, every act of kindness ripples outward. Honor your boundaries. Protect your energy. Learn when to say no. Your power flourishes when you respect yourself. Stay humble and open. Remember, the journey never truly ends. Be open to learning and growing, even from those you least expect. These steps are not rules but guides, paths to help you walk your unique journey with grace. The power of community. No one awakens alone. Surround yourself with others on the path, those who inspire, challenge, and support you. The monk often said, the light of many candles is stronger than one flame alone. Together, your powers multiply. Dear one, your awakening has prepared you for this moment. You are ready to step into your power with intention and love. In our next page, we will explore the challenges you may face as you embrace your powers and how to overcome them with resilience and wisdom. This understanding will keep your light steady in the face of any storm. Welcome back, beloved traveler. We have journeyed together through the signs of your spiritual awakening and the practical steps to express your powers. Yet, the path forward is not without its trials. Awakening brings light, but with light, shadows also emerge. Today, we will explore the challenges you may face as you step into your new power, and how to meet them with wisdom and courage. Challenge 1. Doubt and fear of your own power. When you begin to wield spiritual power, doubt often whispers, are you worthy? Are you ready? This fear is natural, but it need not stop you. Remember the monk's teaching, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Every great soul has faced this doubt. Let it be a sign you are on the right path. Challenge 2. Resistance from others. As you change, some in your life may resist your growth, whether out of fear, jealousy, or misunderstanding. This resistance is a reflection of their own shadows, not your worth. Stand firm in your truth. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Be the light that guides, not the flame that burns. Challenge 3. Overwhelm and burnout. Spiritual awakening can be intense. You may feel overwhelmed by the depth of your insights or the weight of your purpose. The monk advises balance. Even the brightest flame needs tending. Do not let yourself burn out. Rest, nourish your body and soul, and return renewed. Challenge 4. Maintaining humility. With power comes temptation to ego and pride. True power is humble, rooted in service rather than self-glory. The monk reminds us, the highest spiritual path is paved with humility. Keep your heart open and your ego in check. Facing these challenges is part of your transformation. Each one is a test and a gift, helping you refine your power and purpose. Dear one, these trials will shape you, but they will not define you. Stand strong, walk your path with grace. In our next page, we will explore the monk's personal stories of overcoming these challenges, real experiences that illuminate the path ahead with wisdom and hope. Welcome back. Dear friend, tonight, as the stars shine silently overhead, I wish to share with you some personal stories from my own journey, moments when I faced the very challenges we spoke of, and learned to transform them into strength. Story 1. The moment of doubt. Many years ago, after a profound awakening experience, I found myself overwhelmed with doubt. I questioned if I was truly ready to carry the weight of this new understanding. One evening, as I sat alone in meditation, a small child appeared in my mind's eye, holding a lantern and smiling gently. The child seemed to say, "Courage does not mean you are without fear, it means you walk forward despite it." From that day, I began to embrace my doubts as companions on the path, not enemies. Story 2. Facing resistance. In a small village, I once shared my insights openly, only to face suspicion and rejection. Instead of retreating, I chose compassion. I remembered the teaching, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. With patience, love, and silence, the resistance softened over time, and some hearts opened to light. Story 3. Overwhelm and the gift of restoring. A season of intense practice, I pushed myself relentlessly. Eventually, my body and spirit cried out for rest. I learned to honor the rhythm of life, work and rest, activity and stillness. The monk's words echoed in my heart, even the sun pauses at dusk before rising again. From that balance, my power renewed itself, deeper and more vibrant. Story 4. Humility as true power. At one point, recognition and praise came my way. I noticed a subtle pride rising within me. Through meditation and reflection, I saw how easily ego could cloud the path. True humility, I discovered, is the willingness to serve without expectation, to be a vessel, not a master. These stories are not about perfection, but about growth. They remind us that the path of awakening is a journey filled with learning and love. In our next page, we will explore how to cultivate daily habits and rituals that support your ongoing spiritual growth and power. These simple practices will anchor you in your true self as you move forward. Welcome once again, dear soul. Now that we have shared the personal stories of challenge and transformation, let us turn to the foundation that supports your awakened power every day, your daily habits and rituals. The importance of rituals and spiritual power. Rituals are the sacred bridges between your inner world and your outer life. They create structure and stability amidst the shifting currents of awakening. The monk always says, "A disciplined heart is the strongest fortress." Ritual 1. Morning mindfulness. Begin your day with a moment of stillness. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and set your intention for the day ahead. This simple act grounds you in your true self before the noise of the world rises. Ritual 2. Journaling for reflection. Write your thoughts, feelings, and insights regularly. Journaling is like speaking with your soul. It helps you track your growth and uncover hidden patterns. Ritual 3. Movement and presence. Whether walking, stretching, or gentle yoga, moving your body brings awareness into the present moment. The monk often reminds us, your body is the temple of your spirit. Honor it with care. Ritual 4. Acts of kindness. Perform small acts of kindness daily, without expectation. This cultivates compassion, the heart of all spiritual power. Ritual 5. Evening gratitude. Before sleep, reflect on the blessings and lessons of the day. Gratitude softens the mind and prepares you for restful renewal. These rituals are more than tasks, they are prayers expressed through action. By weaving them into your day, you strengthen the roots of your awakening. In our next page, we will explore the deep connection between spiritual power and emotional healing, and how embracing your emotions can unlock even greater strength. Welcome back, dear traveler. Today, we delve deeper into an often overlooked, yet essential part of your spiritual power, the power of emotional healing. Emotions, the gateway to true strength. Many believe that spiritual awakening means transcending emotions. Yet, true power lies in fully embracing them. Carl Jung taught us that emotions are messages from the unconscious, guiding us toward wholeness. The path of emotional awareness. To use your powers wisely, you must first understand and heal your emotional wounds. The monk shares, ignoring your pain only buries the seed. Embracing it allows the flower to bloom. Step 1. Acknowledge your emotions instead of pushing feelings away. Observe them with kindness. Say to yourself, I see you, I hear you, I honor your presence. Step 2. Sit with discomfort. Painful emotions are invitations, not enemies. When you sit with discomfort, you build resilience and insight. Step 3. Seek the lesson. Every emotion holds a lesson. Ask, what is this feeling teaching me about myself? Step 4. Release and forgive. Holding on to past pain blocks your power. Practice forgiveness both for yourself and others. The monk teaches, forgiveness is the key that unlocks your true freedom. Remember, your emotions are sacred guides on your journey. Healing them opens the door to a profound and lasting spiritual power. In our next page, we will explore how to align your spiritual power with your life's purpose and the steps to manifest your highest calling. Welcome back, dear friend. Now that we have embraced the power of emotional healing, let us turn our attention to a vital question. How do you align your spiritual power with your life's true purpose? The journey to purpose. Carl Jung believed that your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Spiritual awakening is not the end, but a beginning, a call to live authentically and fully. Step 1. Listen deeply to your inner voice. In the quiet moments of stillness, your true calling reveals itself. The monk teaches the answers you seek are already within you. Silence allows them to surface. Step 2. Identify your unique gifts. Each awakened soul carries unique gifts, qualities, and talents meant to serve the world. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What feels effortless yet meaningful? Step 3. Align actions with intent. True power is expressed through intentional actions. Align your daily choices with your deeper purpose. Even small acts become sacred when done with awareness. Step 4. Embrace patience and trust. Path may not always be clear. Trust in the unfolding process, knowing that each step is part of a greater design. The monk reminds us, patience is the companion of wisdom. Step 5. Serve with compassion. Purpose is not just about self-fulfillment, but also service. When you use your powers to uplift others, your light shines brighter and your path becomes clearer. Remember, dear one, your spiritual awakening is a sacred gift meant to be shared through purpose-driven living. In the next page, we will explore practical techniques to maintain your spiritual power amid the challenges of daily life. Welcome back, seeker of truth. As we walk further on this sacred path, it is crucial to understand how to maintain and protect your spiritual power amid the everyday storms of life. The reality of challenge. Spiritual awakening does not exempt you from challenges. In fact, sometimes it magnifies them. But these challenges are opportunities to deepen your power and presence. Technique 1. Grounding in nature. The monk often says, the earth beneath your feet is the root of your strength. Spend time in nature. Feel the soil, listen to the wind, connect with the elements. This grounds your energy and restores balance. Technique 2. Breath awareness. In moments of stress or confusion, your breath is your anchor. Practice slow, mindful breathing. Allow each inhale to bring calm, each exhale to release tension. Technique 3. Setting energetic boundaries. Your energy is sacred. Learn to say no when needed and protect your space from negativity. Visualize a shield of light surrounding you, impenetrable and pure. Technique 4. Daily meditation. Constant meditation strengthens your connection to your inner self and spiritual power. Even 5 minutes a day can create profound shifts. Technique 5. Seek support and community. You are not alone on this path. Find kindred spirits who uplift and support your journey. Community fuels resilience and inspires growth. These practical tools help you not only survive but thrive, allowing your spiritual power to shine steadily, no matter what life brings. On the next page, we will explore the role of intuition as the guiding compass for your awakened life, and how to trust and cultivate this inner wisdom. Welcome back, dear soul. Today, we explore one of the most powerful gifts awakened beings possess, intuition, the inner compass that guides you beyond logic and fear. Understanding intuition. Carl Jung called intuition a perception via the unconscious. It is subtle, often quiet, but always profound. The importance of trusting your intuition. When your spiritual awakening is complete, your intuition becomes clearer. It whispers truths that the mind cannot always comprehend. Listening deeply to this inner voice is essential. Signs your intuition is awakening. Sudden knowing without explanation. Feeling drawn to certain places or people. Dreams rich with symbolism. Get feelings that guide decision. Show to cultivate intuition. Practice quiet reflection daily. Pay attention to your dreams and journal them. Notice your body's sensations and responses. Meditate with intention to connect to your inner guidance. Anecdote from the monk's journey. There was a time when I stood at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. The monk reflects, it was only when I stopped seeking answers outside and listened deeply inside that the way became clear. Practical exercise. The intuitive pause before making important decisions. Pause, take 3 deep breaths. Ask your heart, what feels right? Notice the first subtle feeling that arises. Trusting your intuition is an act of courage and faith in your own soul's wisdom. Next, we will discuss how to use your spiritual powers to heal not just yourself but also those around you. Welcome back, beloved traveler. Having embraced your intuition as your guiding light, we now turn to the sacred responsibility of spiritual power, the power to heal. The healing power within true awakening brings a deep recognition. Healing is not just for oneself, but a gift to others. As the monk often reminds us, healing flows naturally from a heart open and aligned with truth. Healing begins with self-compassion. Extending healing to others. Cultivate kindness within. Recognize your own wounds without judgment. This self-compassion is the foundation of authentic healing. Healing through presence can be a powerful medicine. Simply being fully attentive and compassionate to someone's pain can open the door to transformation. The monk's story of healing. I remember sitting silently with a friend in deep sorrow, the monk Rika. No words were spoken, yet a calm energy passed between us, softening the heaviness in their heart. Tools for healing: energy, mindful breathing to center, and calm visualization of light flowing from your heart to others. Silent prayers or affirmations of peace and wellness. Douch, when appropriate, as a sacred channel of energized ripple effect. Healing one soul creates waves that touch many. Your awakened power, when shared with love, has the potential to uplift entire communities. Remember, healing is an act of sacred service, rooted in humility and deep connection. In our next conversation, we will explore how to embody joy and gratitude as expressions of your awakened spirit. Welcome back, cherished soul. As we near the culmination of our journey, let us speak of two luminous gifts that reveal the fullness of your awakening: joy and gratitude. The radiance of joy. True joy is not fleeting happiness but a deep, abiding state of being. It arises naturally when you live in alignment with your higher self. The monk teaches, joy is the silent song of the awakened heart. Cultivating joy amidst life's challenge. Even in hardship, joy can bloom. It is a conscious choice to see beauty, to cherish small moments, to embrace life fully. Gratitude, the heart's alchemy. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It opens your heart to abundance and connects you to the sacred flow of life. Daily practice, gratitude reflection. Each day, pause to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. This simple act rewires your mind and spirit for positivity. The monk's story of joy and gratitude. In my solitude, the monk shares, I found joy in the sunrise, gratitude in the breath I take, and peace in the present moment. Joy and gratitude as spiritual power when expressed sincerely. These qualities radiate energy that uplifts not only yourself but all those around you. As your awakening concludes, remember, your joy and gratitude are not just feelings, they are powerful spiritual tools. Our next and final page will bring together all these teachings as we embrace the ultimate purpose of your awakening: to live fully, wisely, and with compassionate power. Welcome back, dear seeker. We arrive now at the threshold of completion, where all your spiritual insights converge into one powerful truth. Your awakening is not an end. It is the beginning of purposeful living, the ultimate purpose of awakening. Carl Jung spoke often of individuation, the process of becoming your whole, authentic self. This is the path you now walk. To live fully awake is to bring your unique light into the world, to embody wisdom with compassion and strength, integration, bringing spirit into daily life. Your lessons, your powers, your awakening, all are meant to be woven into everyday moments. How you speak, how you listen, how you love, these are your true spiritual practices. The monk's final anecdote. After many years in silent contemplation, he reflects, I learned that the greatest transformation happens not in isolation, but in connection. When awakened hearts touch the lives of others. A call to action: use your powers wisely. You have the power to heal, to inspire, to uplift. Use these gifts with humility and courage. Let your life be a beacon for those still searching. Closing reflection. Take a moment now, breathe deeply, feel your connection to all that is. Know that your journey has prepared you for this moment, to step forward, empowered and awake. Go forth with peace, joy, and the fearless heart of the awakened. Your work has just begun, dear awakened soul. We have journeyed together through the depths of insight, reflection, and transformation. Now, as we come to the conclusion of this sacred dialogue, let us breathe in the fullness of what you have become and what you are yet to create. The journey is eternal. Spiritual awakening is not a destination but a lifelong path. Though you have crossed this pivotal threshold, your journey continues, ever unfolding in new dimensions of awareness and service. Embrace your sacred role. You are called to be a living light in a world longing for healing and hope. Your awakened presence can ripple beyond what you imagine. Wisdom in action. Carl Jung once said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Now that you have looked within, awaken fully by living your truth in every action. The monk's blessing: may your path be gentle, your heart courageous, and your spirit a wellspring of peace for all beings. A final invitation: conscience to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude. Use your powers wisely and humbly. Share your light without fear. Your awakening is a gift to yourself and to the world. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your days be filled with calm insight and purposeful action.